I'm Susan Rickheimer, host of Boss of Me. Who says divine feminine energy has no place in successful entrepreneurship? And honestly, who cares? Here I share the stories of women who have inspired me with their bold, messy, and unapologetic conviction, straight from their own voices.
Join me as Nigerian author, blogger, and mentor, Udeme Archibong shares the who, what, when, and why of human essence, and how she helps young people discover and maximize the essence of their own personal value. I am so excited to see you, my beautiful friend. So many good things to talk about.
I'm so happy to be with you today. You're such a beautiful soul, and I love what you do.
I was reading your latest blog when there is a dream formation in the state of the mind. The greater the dimension and scope of the dream formation, the greater the intensity of the mental force applied and the more momentum it garners to lift destiny to soaring heights. Why is it that we're taught to only believe the things that we can see instead of what we feel? I think that's where the greatest shame begins, when we have this passion exploding inside of us and we're looking for a way to express it. Would you like to start talking about your journey?
I would love to tackle why people live from the outside in, the 4 W's of human essence. Many people are not aware of it. The first W is who you are, identity. Hence, we have had wired for spirituality. The spirituality is in our genes. So that I've come to a conclusion that we have the DNA of the creator of the universe. So we have to discover who God is, who the creator of the universe is. When we get to know him, we get to know more about ourselves. It's an interesting adventure because we come to live from the inside. The creator is Lord. The creator of the universe is an expansive energy. The universe cannot contain him. We are God's brand. How in the world can we fail? It's not in our vocabulary. It's not in
our DNA. And in that essence, how we are meant to see other people. So it's a sharing of that, right?
Because once we see ourselves in the right light, we begin to see others the way the creator of the universe sees them. We have to see ourselves the way he sees us.
We are God's brand. I love that. We are God's very activating as a woman.
Yes.
Bands that expansion is love.
Then the third W is, why are we on earth? Come on, are we an accident? Or are we just a biological creation? Why are we on earth? That brings us to couple. I didn't get to know you by chance. You didn't get to know me by chance. So destiny, because same it as the specific problem we were created to solve. And we haven't just scratched the surface of what we can do.
And who are we to say where that limit is?
So it's our responsibility now to discover a unique gift, unique talent, unique wisdom, intelligence, continually stretch, refine it, develop it, work on it, stretch to reach our maximum potentials. And do you know what? As long as we are breathing, we're not done yet. So it keeps on unfolding, evolving, expanding. That limits.
Because limitations are man-made and based in fear.
God cannot exist in the presence of fear. Actually, fear and selfishness, to me, are the plague of human existence.
So you said fear and selfishness, but doesn't selfishness stem from fear as well?
Yes, it does. Actually, it does. Because perfect love will cast out all fears.
When we're in a scarcity mindset, that's when we become selfish, right? We're afraid there isn't enough for us. And so we just take. There's no exchange.
That also leads us not really knowing who we are, because the creator is abundance. There is no shortage in the universe. Everything around us, the nature itself speaks abundance. So it's our identity. We really are. And grow in the consciousness of, we begin to knock out both ceilings scarcity mindset.
We have to recognize that they're stories.
We have to recognize before we can solve a problem, we have to hide it. And that really goes on for us to self-out.
So it's understanding, like you said, where we came from and the DNA that has been passed down to us. And then the part that we play individually in that in order to articulate what your purpose is. You need to be able to do the hard things, take risks, and figure out where the fit is. And it's not always what we want it to be. And there's the lesson in that. Just because I'm really good at something doesn't mean that's where my purpose is.
Definitely, because every skill can be learned. We can know how to do something skillfully, as you said, but that's not where our purpose lies. I believe we need to get back to our heart.
100%. We need to start there.
When we live from our heart, we begin to really live in reality, because the head goes against there is a deep knowing. We cannot explain it, of what we created to do, what we were hardwired to do, the dreams of our hearts, the impact knowing.
The knowing is the masculine energy, whereas the knowing is the feminine energy. And it's the necessity to quiet down
noise. And that will take us to meditation, because our minds are never silent. Thinking one thought or the other based on the environment, the culture, and what is going on around us, we tend to tilt toward negativity. We allow it to roll over our minds. And do you know what? Patience is actually revelation.
Amen. The consummation of meditation is revelation.
However, I cannot trade my alone moment for silver or gold. They are priceless. Meditation means to ponder, to mutter. And you know what? When you meditate deeply, you begin to mutter. You begin to speak to yourself. And that speaking registers in your subconscious mind, registers in the universe.
The vibration.
Yes. Once we have that harmony with truth, it's action, but we begin to walk in the light of that revelation. Transformation takes place.
I'm thinking about my yoga practice and how the more I get on my mat, the more my practice progresses. But there's always a new challenge, right? That's the point. It's such a language speaking to me and identifying where I am this day. And the same with meditation, taking enough time for the thoughts to flow and the non-attachment that needs to come with it. And it's why it takes time, practice, because trust needs to be built within ourselves.
And there are different levels of the revelation of the truth. I call it timeless principles governing the universe. And it goes across every area of life. So when we meditate on this and when we become one with it, our lives becomes great.
And believing that this is the illusion, this is the tragedy, the human experience is that we believe that if we are connected in a way that we're not taught, that it's incorrect, we're not giving ourselves enough credit to be the mystical beings that we actually are and what we're capable of. The proof of that to me, you said, it's no accident that we have met. The women that I'm meeting globally in places that I've only dreamed about going, places that I've read about that have intrigued me, but that are seemingly random in my life. Yeah. And the women who I have called in, undeniable, right? I didn't do this. You didn't do this. We both know that. We're just open to the experience.
Yes. And being open, it's very important, being open. Because we are not open, we will never be able to really make a difference in life.
We're in the box, as opposed to not even believing that there is a box.
And there's a tragedy, but the good news is there is hope by people coming to realize who they really are, that they've been given the mandate of this, that their life matters in the world.
How did you find yours?
Wow. In my journey, I've come to discover that your gift and your purpose, even though that are related, one can discover his or her gift, but cannot really figure out his or her purpose. Because when you discover your purpose and you discover your gift, only then can we channel the gift to fulfill our mission. I had discovered my gift before my purpose. My writing.
That's really important. It's not that you were looking, because I'm at a point in my life where I've been looking and realized that it's here. After so many years of being trained to think that way, our brains there's the plasticity, but it's the repetition and the reminder. If I'm feeling heavy, if I'm feeling some kind of discomfort, pain, that's not aligned. And that's all I need to know. We wear it like a heavy coat. We've had a skin on, but the protection is the prison.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Pain, I believe that almost everybody has been through pain, seasonal pain. Though the degree of intensity may vary, I believe everybody has been through pain. That's where it is. We can interpret the pain to a higher purpose. So we can see life through the pain. It's
both. Seeing pain, reading it as direction, guiding us in a different direction, because you have to make space to bring in the new, and then using it for that experience, right?
Whilst on pain, we have responsibility because of our choices. Whatever the pain may be, there is lesson to be learned from it. Get grow through it. We cannot wish it away. We just need to go through it. But not just going through it. We need to grow through it.
That's the privilege of it. We do have a choice. We can go through it and have it repeat. That is moving us to the next lesson, right? Going through it with more trust to get to the point where you start to look forward to it. I'm studying Frank Lloyd Wright, and his vision was go through the tunnel and it opens up into the expansion. So being excited about being in the tunnel because that it's all going to open up.
Yes. And the amazing thing about pain is that pain comes to develop character. Pain comes to make us stronger. Pain comes to take us to our power place. The law of gravity wants to pull you down, but to the higher energy, keep on ascending to the peak of our destiny.
Do you think it's empowered and not power? Our empowered place because of the process?
Empowered place, because you are empowered. Yes, painful season of life. Someone had hurt you and you now go to a position that the person's destiny is in your hands. Are you going to use that power to show love irrespective of the hurt the person has done to you? That's why love is very important, how they behave, and reminding myself that when people behave in ways that are hurting, I'm reminding myself to love.
Because it's not personal. It's their journey.
People hurt other people.
Again, for me, attachment is key. I remember to be clear about the fact it has nothing to do with me at all.
So the real thing about life is in a sense of security. Once that is set, we can really live. We can easily forgive for the best interest of others. We can expand, we can grow, we can reach our limitless heights once we settle our inner issues in a sense of security. Once the quality of our inner life is high, then we can go on to live our lives.
We talked about evolution. I find that as clear as I am right now, I can walk into the next room and still forget who I am. And so that continuous practice and reminding myself to be compassionate with myself as part of the human experience that is my default, but remember, and then moving forward with it is the journey.
Absolutely. We should have a vision of perfection. And perfection is not a place that we arrive. It's a consciousness. It's a realm that we consciously evolve or expand into.
Yes.
I'm working on this plan, setting an early alarm every hour, not just because I want to complete the task. Remember, we are human beings before we actually do. And the energy we bring will determine the quality, the results, and also the quality of our inner life. On the outside, we don't want to be miserable on the inside. So, have what are the plan? And every hour, set my alarm clock. What was I thinking? What did I say? So that's going to put me in check. If I miss it in the previous hour, I can self-correct.
This is exactly what I talk about in my live videos. These common threads, it doesn't matter what I call it. It all comes back to perspective. It comes back to evolution, belief, abundance, the expansion, love.
Yes. And the amazing thing is that when it's consistently done, it becomes a habit. So now, as an autopilot, the default now is the positives. That's in line with your mission, vision, and values.
And it becomes uncomfortable when you're out of alignment with that. So if I walk into the next room and I forget, then I get that awakening, that pain.
Yes.
It's a good pain. And then it becomes more and more subtle, but it's an awareness of the fact that I have a choice and I can reset.
Yes.
And be accountable for it.
Absolutely.
What else would you like to put out there today with me?
The year 2025, it's fresh. It personally have purpose in my heart that I'm going to be new, because every new year should make us a new person, a higher version of ourselves. So remember, we are here to continually grow, unfold, evolve soon. I would love to say the vision of perfection. It's a process. So we must make every moment count for our lives to count. I know there's a popular saying, time is money, but I believe that time is beyond money.
So that's the exchange, right?
Yes, time is life. Because if I lose money, I can always get it back. But I can get back time. You can't even get back the 2024 yesterday. So part of my life has gone. I need to treasure time to make it matter for people, because people are the greatest asset in the world. People, once we make our life matter, begin to make the lives of others.
Absolutely. We can see ourselves, we can see others. And I understand now what it means to be born perfect. So we're born perfect. However, that doesn't mean that we can't grow.
Yeah, because just like a child, an adult actually is wrapped up inside a child. So what the child needs to do is just to grow. He or she may make a mistake. Maybe when he wants to walk, he may fall several times. But the amazing thing about the child, he doesn't stay down. He keeps on trying to walk. If the child is unable to walk, the parents will be very concerned. If the child reaches the stage that he or she should walk and doesn't, the parents will seek medical attention because of that. Not growing is in itself a dysfunction.
But you're growing even if you're not growing in this way. For example, if a child is nonverbal, forming that child is stuck, is missing the point of that gift, because we compensate. We all have a potential. It's different potential. My husband will do that. He'll see somebody that is either neurodiverse or physically not what he is expecting, and he'll feel sad. Not to not be compassionate, but if this person isn't suffering, if they've made their lives complete, then who am I to judge that?
Yes, because actually, even we have the vision of perfection. Everybody has things to deal with.
Oh, grow and learn. In the moment, that's the definition. That's the perfection. There's nothing wrong with us.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with it. And actually, some people grow at a faster pace than others. It may look as if they are not really growing, but inwardly, they are growing.
Exactly.
So we don't determine the growth. Everybody grows at his or her own pace. And everyone got some things to deal with. Go up higher, better. There's nothing wrong with us. We are perfect. We are evolving into that perfection. We are shedding everything that is an illusion. Anything that is not perfect, we are shedding off every day. Because what creates perfection is the reality. Imperfection is an illusion. It's for us to eradicate the layers of illusion. We're meant to line up each other so that we find a world full of light where there is no darkness. Once people realize who they really are, life takes on a new meaning.
Life takes on meaning. So many good things. Thank you so much. I have so much more that I would love to share with you and continue this conversation. Part 2, check as we go, as we grow.
And thank you so much for having me. I love discussing, having conversations with you. We bring a lot of energy together and it's great. Wonderful time. And you're enlightened, great person.
I love that our paths have led us here. And I look forward to extend the collaboration and bring other women into this space and just continue to light it up. Because if we are experiencing this all over the world at this time, and we've been drawn together, there's no doubt there's something much greater than us. And that is what I'm grateful for. All I have to do is open my heart and be open to welcome what comes next.
Thank you so much for having me. And I believe that the call is great. If everyone in the world will come to that light, begin to walk in what they've shared, and beyond that, the world will be a better place.
It would mean that everybody had the confidence to accept the responsibility, the self-worth, and the self-awareness to understand that you are born with the capability of that responsibility. What a beautiful human you are.
Gratitude is one of the things I'm very intentional about this year. It's life transforming. We have so many things to be grateful for, and getting to know is one of them. Wisdom that we are sharing to be
chosen. Be here now in this vessel, in this container.
Yes,
Thank you. Have a beautiful evening. We'll speak soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey friends, if this podcast means something to you, it would mean so much to me if you would do 2 quick things. First, follow or subscribe, which hopefully helps us both. You'll never miss an episode. So wherever you listen from, click follow. And second, please share an episode with a friend. I would be so grateful.